Well, that was just plainly embarrassing, wasn't it, this weekend? The FA Cup exit at the hands of Doncaster. Or is it a silver lining that just might keep Hull City in the league, which is, of course, far more important? We'll get our panel's view on it. Welcome to Where Tigers Walk, episode 24. Season's running away with us. We're asking this lot for their December player of the month. AI is predicting whether Hull are going to stay up based on the home fixtures. We'll see what the robots say in a minute. And we're also having a bit of fun this month because January's so rubbish. We're making our worst ever Hull City side based on the last 20 years. We're choosing our goalkeeper to put in goal. Join us for that at the end of the video. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so close now to 250 subscribers. Can you help us get there? Press the button. We love making this content for you. There's lots of Hull chat, but this is what we'd like to think is the most less serious ones out there. Matty, Ben and Jack, our jokers, are back with us. Let's see how embarrassed they are about that penalty shootout. Matty, I've never seen a team be 4-3 up in a shootout with 2 penalties for the opposition left to go and still lose, but Hull City managed to do it.
Yeah. What I think more embarrassing is that we had how many defenders take the penalties? None of the attacking players actually stepped up to take any. So, what are you expecting? I mean, and then when they do step up, I mean, Burstow, that is awful. He didn't even get anywhere near the target, did he? So, I think it's more embarrassing that we didn't actually. That's our strongest, possibly one of our a strong starting lineup, and we couldn't beat a League Two team. I think that's probably more embarrassing than the actual penalty shootout. We did get back into the game, which made it less embarrassing. Imagine going out after 90 minutes and losing to that. Just not a very good day all round, was it? So, yeah, let's quickly move on from it, I think.
Oh, no. We can't move on that quickly. Jack, what was it? Application, attitude, endeavour? What was wrong today?
Before I get into it, I'm just going to point out that the pitch was absolutely awful. And I have no idea what's happened after we pumped £2 million or something like that into the pitch. And rugby league's not even on, so you can't even blame that. But I want to blame that partly on the result because the ball was terrible. That's my excuse. But yeah, it was poor, especially given we had we had all our experienced players on the pitch at one point, and we still looked like the League Two side. So it was embarrassing. Was it down to not wanting to have a cup run and just focus on the league because we are in the mire at the moment and we do want to focus on getting out? But then again, it gives the chance of the players to have a run about and have some confidence. But yeah, it's one of those. It depends what the manager wants, and clearly today we didn't really have the attitude of wanting to win. And as I say, it's just dull. And the FA Cup's never been an exciting encounter for us at the moment. So yeah, I'm happy we're out of it, and now we can focus on the league.
Okay. Some social media takes from the game. Ben, JDB says Giles, Drama, Simons, Vaughan, Camera, and Burstow stunk the place out today. Perform like that against League Two cloggers, and you expect to get a starting place in our next Championship starting 11. Off you go. Luke says the players genuinely looked like they couldn't be bothered. The passes were abysmal. We couldn't win any second balls or winners headed. Nobody played for the shirt today. Do you agree with that assessment from those two?
I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks it, but I don't think they played that badly. Yes, they obviously got taken to extra time by a League Two side, but it wasn't like an absolutely abysmal showing. There were a few that did play quite poorly. Quite a few of the names on that list were probably the ones that were, but I don't think it was as bad as people are making it out to be. I know, obviously, we've gone for like a near full strength side, but I don't know. It was a poor result, but I don't think they did play as bad as people are making it out. I think a lot of people are just sort of like jumping on the fact that they played poorly in a cup game, get them gone. It's just a bit reactionary after a game that doesn't really have a great deal of meaning for us, really, because no one expects us to go far in the FA Cup. I know I said last week how much I wanted a cup run, but at the end of the day, no one expects it. So, and obviously Donny are somehow our bogey team, considering we've not been in the same league as them for like 4 or 5 years. So yeah, I don't think it was as bad as people are making it out to be.
You just got to, I think, look back to last week against Leeds. So we do a top performance, and now we just backtrack. So I think that's what maybe has annoyed fans. If we played the same
Yeah.
against Leeds last week, I just think it would just be one of those take it on the chin and go again. But we don't want to be going backwards. We want to be going forwards, and today was not going forwards.
You would have got Crystal Palace at home, Matty, anyway, if you'd have gone through. Is that something to be upset about?
Not particularly, no, I don't think so. It's not a massive draw, is it? I think we'd have wanted an away day anyway, wouldn't we? If it was the other way around, potentially, yeah, it might have been a decent draw. But no, I don't think we're missing out on much. I think I just want the referee as well was absolutely appalling. I mean, how he's not sent the goalkeeper off for bringing down was it Pedro? I don't know who it was. It was
Kamara.
Kamara,
Yeah.
sorry. How he's not been sent off. I do not understand that. I'm not saying that's an excuse or anything like that, because they still should have won, but that is an appalling decision, because he's the last man. I just don't understand it. So, like Ben says, move on. Not that fussed. We'd have probably got stuff back QPR anyway. Do you know what I mean? So what's the point in that? What's the point in then going and getting stuff 3 or 4-0 back QPR? Pointless. So yeah, no big one.
All right, we shall now definitely then move on back to league action. Then we go, and a trip to Millwall is on the cards. Let's remind ourselves of what happened the last time you two met each other. Not very much was the answer to that. It was a 12:30 game. It was under Walter. It was. I think they hit the crossbar. I think didn't they, in the 90th minute or something. Was the only thing I remember from that encounter. Jack, having a look though at that whole side which is on the screen there. How different is the Selles setup now compared to potentially we'll set up against Millwall this weekend versus what we can see there?
Well, he usually has, I think, as I've seen on Foot Mob, also on the pitch. I don't really pay attention sometimes to the formation, but they usually have 2 defensive midfielders, and then I think it's 3 attacking players. So that's probably a big change. We're more attack minded, I have to say, because he usually, if he's going to switch out someone during the game, he usually puts on a defense, like a left back or a right back rather than a centre back, just to get some more attack in there. So he's an attacking minded manager, which is opposite to Walter, which is little bit better, but then again, we're vulnerable at the back sometimes. So yeah, there's slight differences, but again, it's too early to know what his mantra is at the moment. I think he's just trying to work out what he wants to do. So we'll see a few changes, but I'm sure once he hits the nail on the head, we'll be up and running.
Okay. Oxford have just beaten this Millwall side, Ben. So do you think that gives you a bit of a chance? This Alex Neil hasn't really kind of put his mark down yet.
Yeah, I think it gives us a great chance. I know Millwall are a bit neither here or there. They're very mid-table at the minute. I think why not? They're one of the I don't want to say easier sides to beat, because we have got a few tough games coming up, but on paper you'd say they're one of the more beatable sides. So I think, yeah, absolutely, it gives us a good chance of beating them. The team we've got it's starting to get there. We've made a single signing so far in the January window, which looks to be a good addition in Matt Crooks. So yeah, can't wait for him to get started eventually. We'll link with a couple of others who could potentially be here by then. But yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. All right, then. Let's get your December Player of the Month quickly off you as well before we have a look at what's to come in January and beyond. You've all gone for the same player in the past usually, so let's see how far we've got this time. Matty, can you kick this one off for us? Back in December, who impressed?
Sorry for the long pause, but I've not. There's a couple I suppose that come to mind, but it is a struggle, isn't it? When he's not really a standout. I'd probably say Puerta has probably been the one that has definitely improved and got better throughout the season, and he looks like a proper midfielder now. Him and Alzati in that midfield look like the real deal, and against Leeds they were absolutely awesome to say that one's a free transfer and the one's on loan, and we're playing against multi-millionaire, whatever, transfers from Leeds in that midfield. So I'd probably go for one of those two. Probably put it on Puerta. I think he gets around the pitch. He's creative. He did a lovely little nutmeg today, didn't he? Through one of the players, which was unbelievable. Followed up with he's got his first goal now as well today, which is great. So I'll give him more confidence. But he just looks like the player we signed in September that we were all expecting, and he's now, he's putting that into practice, and he looks the real deal to me. So I'm going for him.
Okay, cheers, Ben.
I think those two are probably the top two choices. I think Joao Pedro, Matty's mate, is probably a good shout as well for an honourable mention. He's just the way he gets around the pitch. I know everyone puts he's so old, but he's only like 31 or 32, isn't he? He can still obviously get about at that age, and he does really well. He's obviously scored some good goals for us in December, and then obviously in that one against Leeds. But yeah, I'd probably say one of the two of Puerta or Alzate, with Joao Pedro as like a little honourable mention.
Okay, Jack.
I'm gonna go a little bit different and go for Alfie Jones. I know he missed the penalty today, but I don't know. I just watching him at the back. He's just been phenomenal. He's been a force to reckon with. He's always going for the ball. He's kind of filling in Greaves' footsteps. Not as good, but he's putting in the shift at the back as we need it. Just some of the tackles he's doing, and some of the even the passing. Like, just he's probably one of the more, like, I don't know, switched on player at the back. Let's say, because Maka and Coyle have been a bit dropping this at the moment, so he needs to. So he's the one who's holding the back line, and he's always barking at his players and Panda when he makes a mistake. So I'm going to give it to him for that reason.
Okay. All right, let us know in the comments below whether you want to give any other players we haven't mentioned your shout out for December player of the month. And whilst you're down there, if you don't mind, you can also click on the subscribe button and get us to our target of 250 for the month. Right then, we asked AI. Oh, there we are. We asked AI to have a look at Hull City's home fixtures for the remainder of the calendar year. There they are. And I've got to say, before we look at what AI said, of all the teams down there, you have got by far, on paper, the best average. When you look at the starting positions of all the other teams, look at that. You don't actually play anybody in the top 10 in your remaining home games to come. The highest you play is Norwich, and they've been awful away. The rest of your games are against pretty much the teams just above you. So, Matty, that must fill you with some confidence that at home you've got, 27 points available there, and all of them are possibly achievable.
No, Mark, they don't give me any confidence. Honestly, it doesn't. You're right. The teams, I suppose the only thing that is positive down there is that we've got to play teams that are in and around us. So it means we're going to end up having to take points off those teams around there. Looking at those fixtures, you would expect, or you would hope, that we will. That's where we're going to pick up the majority of our points. We're better away from home for some reason, but at home, if we go on last year, the whole of last year it was abysmal. So, but hopefully, we can start picking up. I mean, you're looking at some of them there that Stoke last year we should have beat. We ended up drawing. Plymouth we drew to at home. Coventry we drew at home. So nothing's guaranteed in this league, but in looking at those fixtures around there, they are very, very winnable fixtures that we should start to pick up. And I think with the atmosphere and the way that we are playing at home a bit better, I think I'm optimistic. I'm not being as negative as I was saying at the beginning there, Matt. But I think optimistic. We've got to rely on our home form, haven't we? And we've got to start picking up. We've got to start picking up points if we want to get up the league. So
Absolutely.
Sorry, Matt. Yeah, in and around us. So they're teams that we need to be beating.
AI says, Jack, out of the 27 available, you're going to get 21 of them. You're only going to lose to Norwich, and then you're going to pick up points in all of them. Pretty much, you're going to beat Stoke, Plymouth, Oxford, Coventry, and Derby on the last day of the season, or the last home game of the season as well. So that's, I mean, a stupid question, but you'd take that now, wouldn't you? You'd stay up with that.
I'll take it, yeah. but I don't think it's going to happen. But
AI's not been to the MKM for a while.
no, exactly,
No.
no. And
He don't want a season pass AI, does he?
I don't know where it's getting the stats from, but obviously it's gone by the head-to-heads we've had recently and who's won more. That's probably what it takes it from. It doesn't take into account how well we're doing in the season. Otherwise, that'll be different. Obviously, because we're 22nd. So, but I mean, there's a couple of games on there which I think will steal some points from, like Plymouth. Maybe QPR might snatch a point. We always do well against them at home. Luton, if they get a new manager, then I don't see us getting anything because whenever a team gets a new manager and plays us, they always turn around.
Well, you'd like to think they'd get one by the 29th of March, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
maybe not. Hopefully not. Hopefully they don't.
Anyway, but yeah, Coventry. I don't know. They're one of those sides that you play and you don't know what score it's going to be. And the same with the next two games. You think we're winning, but away from home, there's some of these games where we've been dreadful. So it's very hard to say what's going to happen. It's just let's just hope that the AI is right.
Okay. Come on, Ben. Let's have some positivity from you. There's no Burnley, there's no Leeds, there's no Sheffield United, there's no Sunderland, there's no Middlesbrough in that list there. There's not even any Blackburn. You've done them, and that's why your home form's probably been so wretched, because you've actually, in terms of the fixtures list, you've done all the hard graft beforehand. Now you've got the reverse of those away games, which you've done all right in.
I think I'll sound like Kevin Keegan, but I'd love it if we get 3 points out of a lot of them games. To be fair, as we've said, they're the more easier fixtures on paper, but with us being around them also, they'll all, majority of them, maybe Norwich will be out of that sort of equation by then, but a lot of them, if they're still in that sort of area, it'll be a big scrap for a lot of those games. It will be nice to get a lot of wins, especially at home.
Okay.
Reading Selles' home form was better than his away form, but yeah, it'd be nice to just turn it around because we've had 3-4 wins in the last year. So yeah.
Okay. All right, let us know what you think in the comments below. Finally, then, this week, because it's January and it's pretty rubbish month, so we thought we'd have a bit of fun and let's make the world's worst Hull City side over the next 4 weeks or so. So we'll start with, if that's okay, the worst goalkeeper that you've seen in the Championship era, of course, as well. As we don't want to go too far back. And in the comments below, let us know what you think as well. Who wants to kick this off? Matty, kick this off for us, please. The worst goalkeeper that would make up the worst Hull 11.
I don't think I don't think goalkeeper has been a mega issue. I wouldn't say we've had, apart from My Hill, which is probably the best that we've had. We've been all right, but I think there's a couple of stinkers in there. So one would be probably George Long, because I think he was just absolutely dreadful. But I'm going to go for David Marshall because I just think we bought him. And to be fair, we had McGregor and we had Jakupovic as well at the same time. We bought him because he was absolutely unbelievable for Cardiff when they were in the Premier League. And we bought him thinking, oh, this is going to be ace. He's going to be absolutely superb. And he came and he was absolutely dreadful for a full season. And he ended up getting dropped anyway, I think, for Jakupovic in the end. That's when he started coming in and playing well. So I'm going to go for David Marshall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack?
Difficult one for me because I can't really remember many goalkeepers. I can remember McGregor. He was good, so I'm not going to put him. But I'm just going to have to say someone who's recently that I've watched properly. I'm going to go for Matt Ingram. I mean, he was okay, but out of every other goalkeeper I've had, like Darlow and Allsop and obviously Panda now and a couple of goalkeepers seasons ago, I think he's the worst out of the lot. So for that reason, I'm going to go for Matt Ingram.
Okay. Ben?
I think I'd go with George Long. I think that whole season where we ended up getting relegated was just an absolute catastrophe. But as the lads have said, we've not had too many bad goalies. We've always had a decent keeper. There's been some that have been better than others, but none that are really like horrific consistently. But I think George Long's probably the one that stands out in the list that we've got.
Okay. That's the second team that have put George Long in there, and their worst ever goalkeepers. Norwich did that earlier as well. Never, poor old George Long. Right. Next week we're doing strikers. We're doing a flat 4-4-2, so we'll do our strikers. We're looking for a pair of duds next week. So you've got 7 days to think about that. Right. Let us know in the comments if they've missed any obvious goalkeepers out, and we'll share that with you next week. Enjoy your game against Millwall. Anyone heading down to the Den for that one? But you'll see watching it safely from your TV.
I would have, but it's a bit early. I mean, I'm committed, but I did it last season. It wasn't as good. I mean, we've got stuck in London for an hour, so no, thank you.
Okay. If you're going, safe travels down there. We'll see you in 7 days' time. Have a great week, everyone.